All right, so in this video, I'm going to be talking through page 8 of the notes packet. This is where we're going to start graphing functions. So the next week or so of this course is going to be very graphing heavy. We're going to be doing a lot of work with just plotting functions, figuring out what they look like, and getting a sense of what different equations look like when graphed. And one way that we can always try and find the graph of the function is just by plotting different points, plugging them in, so finding different x values, plugging them into the function to get different y values, plotting those points on the graph, and then trying to connect the graph to get some sense of what it looks like. So if we see something like x cubed minus 2x plus 1, we're not really sure what the graph would look like for that, but we can figure it out. We can figure that out by what if we plugged in an x value such as -2. So f of -2 is equal to -2 cubed minus 2 times -2 plus 1. -2 cubed is -8. -2 times -2 is plus 4 plus 1. That's going to give me -3. If I plug in -1, f of -1 is equal to -1 cubed minus 2 times -1 plus 1. That's going to be -1 plus 2 plus 1. That's going to be 2. If I plug in 0, I get 0 cubed minus 2 times 0 plus 1. That's just going to be 1 because here and here are going to become 0. If I plug in f of 1, I'm going to get 1 cubed minus 2 times 1 plus 1. So that's 1 minus 2 plus 1, so that's 0. And if I plug in 2, I'm going to get f of 2 is equal to 2 cubed minus 2 times 2 plus 1. So I'm going to get 8 minus 4 plus 1. That's going to give me 5. And so now that I have my points, I can graph where they fall on here. So we have -2, -3. So that's going to be down here. -1, 2, that's going to be there. 0, 1, that's going to be there. 1, 0, that's going to be there. And then 2, 5 is going to be up here. So just based on that, we can guess that this function is going to look something like this. Right? That may not be exactly spot on, but that's going to be a pretty good estimate of what it's going to look like. So this is a good method to just get some sense of the shape. So we can do the same thing down here. And I recommend trying some negative values, some positive values. You don't need to use the same values for each equation. Sometimes you might want to use bigger ones, smaller ones, depending on what's going on. As you do more of these problems, you'll start to get a feel for that. All right, so let's still start with -2 here. So here we have an exponential equation. So f of -2 is then equal to 3 to the negative second power minus 2. That's 3 to the second power minus 2, which is equal to 9 minus 2, which is 7. X to the negative first is 3 to the negative first minus 2, which is 3 to the first minus 2, which is 1. X to the 0th, or f of 0, sorry, is 3 to the -0, which is just 0, minus 2. So 3 to the 0th is 1, minus 2 is equal to -1. And then f of 1 is going to be 3 to the negative first minus 2. Remember, 3 to the negative first is 1/3 minus 2, which is the same as 1/3 minus 6/3, which is the same as -5/3. So for 1, we can put -5/3. And then for f of 2, we're going to get 3 to the negative second power minus 2, which again is going to be 1/3 squared minus 2, 1 over 9 minus 2, which is 1 over 9 minus 18 over 9, which means it's negative 17 over 9. Okay, now let's turn to plotting those. So we can go negative 2, 7 is going to be off the graph up here. Negative 1, 1 is going to be there. 0, negative 1 is going to be here. And then 1, negative 5/3, that's going to be there, because 5/3 is a little bit less than 2. And 2, that's a little bit closer to negative 2. So you can see from here that the graph is going to look something like this.